Welcome back to Earthworm Jim. And now we're doing Intestinal Distress.
Oh, goody.
Alright, fun curiosity. This level, in the original in the original release of the game, which is the Mega Drive, this level was in it, but the Super Nintendo version was not. There are two. The developers themselves have never actually confirmed it, so we don't know. But there are two primary theories for why this level is not in the Super Nintendo version. Obviously, it's in the Sega CD version as well, because the Sega CD version is the complete version. But the primary theories that fans have for why it wasn't included in the Super Nintendo version was, one, Nintendo still was in that phase where they didn't allow anything that wasn't considered, family friendly, and by family friendly, we mean family friendly by their standards at the time. Remember, this is the same.
Wouldn't make that much sense because they still had stuff like Castlevania and the Super Ghouls and Goblins stuff, which was not quite family friendly.
Sure.
So what's the other theory?
The other theory is that apparently this was Sega who actually apparently paid for having an extra level in their version.
That might actually make more sense, especially since we had Super Metroid on the SNES. That is not kid-friendly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, family-friendly. I mean, honestly, the term kid-friendly is kind of very relative.
I don't know, too. I'm finding... they look like Echo the Dolphin creatures.
So whose body are we in?
To the Binding of Isaac.
No, don't you see, Teo? The Binding of Isaac ripped this off, clearly. Don't you know?
Totally.
Or maybe just took it as inspiration. But again, whose body are we in?
Is the Slug-for-a-Butt?
Remember, Jova, we're not in a body, we're in planets. This is the planet of intestinal distress. This planet is literally a giant intestine. That's what this planet is.
Oh, so the planet is living.
So it's Ego, the living planet.
The way the universe of Earthworm Jim works is there's a planet for everything. There's a planet for mucus, there's a planet for hammers, there's a planet for everything, basically.
Oh, so it's like with the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, where there's a land
for everything.
Yeah, but at the very least, they actually bothered to be more creative with the names instead of just inserting word land after the end of everything.
True.
I don't know, there's kind of a special charm to that. Kind of like naming the Robot Masters man or woman.
There we go. Alright, oh yeah, I don't think I've explained this, but one thing you can do is, when you jump, and if you mash the jump button while in midair, you can hover using Jim's head as an helicopter.
Yeah, and I think this is the first time where I've noticed you doing that.
That's because this is the first time in the game where it's actually required.
I like the sort of weird 3D perspective that's going on here.
Basically,
yeah.
I'm sorry, Shirei, I couldn't get that. Could you repeat that, please?
I said I like the weird 3D perspective that's going on.
Remember, Shiroi, this team also already did that same thing, as Teo pointed out, with the iron balls in the Aladdin game.
Yeah.
So this is kind of their kind of like how Koizumi and his team love to do levels with platforms where you have to use the rhythm of the song to your advantage, basically.
Remind me, was this game made before Sonic 3 and Knuckles?
1994. Same year, actually.
Oh yes.
Same year, actually.
Yeah, because Sonic 3 Knuckles also had that 3D thing, too.
Oh, no, of course. Plenty of games had it. It's just that I'm just seeing that there's a good reason why it's there, because this team has done it before.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
This is the boss.
Bit of an unceremonious meeting, but there you go.
That's because, Jove, from what we can tell, apparently this level was actually... kind of the last one to be made, and it was made with a shorter development period than the other levels.
Certainly does give credence to the theory that maybe Sega paid a little extra for an extra level. Because let's make no mistake, back in the day, content was pretty much one of the ways companies competed with each other.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like, I'm guessing, do you think, Joe, maybe that was the reason why the Kraven section in Spider-Man 2002 was exclusive to the Xbox version?
Possibly.
Yeah.
I mean, it will still publish by Activision,
that is a possibility.
So Microsoft paid Activision to have an exclusive part of it, I guess?
It's possible. Microsoft were actually, kind of on point back in the days of the Xbox.
Oh, finally.
Funnily enough, though... Hey, speaking of Xbox, anyone else remember the Duke?
You mean Duke Nukem?
No. Duke is in the very original Xbox controller.
Oh no.
It was codenamed the Duke.
It's not even just when it comes to Xbox controllers, I actually really like the Xbox One controller. It actually is comfortable enough in my hands, and and the shoulder buttons are pretty good. They feel good, so it's fine. It's the previous Xbox controllers that I cannot stand. Especially, have you guys ever held in your hands the original Xbox controller?
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
It's
okay,
garbage.
I have, but I don't remember what it was like.
Okay, Tio. The Xbox 360 controller is infamous for the D-pad, bro.
Yeah, the D-pad is kind of garbage.
Kind of garbage.
So anyway, go on, Joel, more once you're done.
See, okay, the main problem with the Xbox 360 controller was the D-pad, and admittedly some of the shoulder buttons, but D-pad. That was one thing everyone could agree on, but otherwise, some people would have argued that it was a good controller. The Duke was a very clear sign that Microsoft were new to the gaming market. The Duke is a monster. The Duke is, in some regards, thicker than a Wii U gamepad. I'm not kidding.
It's terrible. I would
So
say,
it's like a game, yeah.
me personally, I still don't see what some Call Me Johnny sees in the Xbox 360 controller. I mean, it's not terrible or anything like that, but I would argue it's a bit bulky for my taste, honestly.
The Xbox 360 is definitely comfortable for those with more meatier hands, I think. And it does still have a smooth out layer, although I'll admit I prefer my Xbox One USB controller as opposed to my 360 controller. Like, to me, the Xbox One is the
final level of Earthworm Jim. In fact, let me get the descriptions, might as well.
Let me guess, it's called final level.
Oh, here you go.
Buttville.
Here's falling again. Yeah, it's called Buttville. We're gonna fight.
Oh, I get it. So we went through the intestines. Now we're going to the rectal.
No, Joe. We went from planet Intestinal Distress to planet Buttville.
Like I said, you go for the intestines to get to the.
So the asteroids level in between was the transition from.
Maybe,
I guess.
Okay. Anyway, let me read about the levels. Intestinal Distress. Disgusting, gross bad guys, like you were expecting less. Flying fish, and a boss that will put a major squeeze on you. Now, would you like to see what you had for lunch? Buttville. It's the... and by the way, this particular section, this is oh, actually, hold on. I already passed it. Okay, so Buttville is the final level of the game. Let me read the description. It's dark, there's lighting in the distance, and you've got to keep your head in order to stay alive. You're now facing the Queen and her minions head-to-head, so use yours. The Queen is using her control over all the insets in order to stop you. Everywhere you turn, one of her followers is going to be there. You may think it's hopeless, but it's not. Try to control your every move here. Any mistake will probably be your last. They mean that because the spikes in this level, they're not instant kill spikes like in Mega Man or Battletoads, but they do take quite a lot of your health, so be careful.
And we're close to each other, so you're just bouncing around until you die.
Yeah.
So why is this called Buttville, I wonder?
Because of the boss that where is it at the end?
Joe, Queen Butts.
Queen Slug-for-a-Butt.
No, Queen Pulsating, Bloated, Festering, Sweaty, Pus-Filled, Malformed, Slug-for-a-Butt too. Learn it. Come on.
How do you remember all that?
I prefer
Shiroi, do you have Shiroi? I've been playing this game since 1994.
Fair enough.
You see, Shiroi, that's kind of the right... When it comes to becoming an Earthworm Jim fan, that's your rite of passage. Oh, there goes the cow again.
Oh,
Learning that name off by heart.
Yes.
Okay.
The cow was still going.
Anyway...
Sure. That's nothing. Wait till you see a certain name in Ace Attorney 6.
Anyway, the evil Queen Pulsating, Bloated, Festering, Sweaty, Pus-Filled, Malformed, Slug-for-a-Butt, or Queen Slug-for-a-Butt for short. Adjectives escape us as we try to encapsulate the utter putridity of her being. Let's put it this way. She's big, she's bad, and she's in the mood for Earthworm burgers. She has a face not even a mother could love. Wow, that's sad. And a body to match. She's Jim's ultimate nightmare. How can she be defeated? Is it possible? You know she has a twin sister, don't you? And which brings me to Princess What's Her Name. Princess What's Her Name is
twin sister is cute.
Princess What's Her Name is a twin sister of the Queen. She got the good end of the genetic pool, obviously. A truly bodacious babe of the highest magnitude. When asked about her favorite activities, she sweetly replied, "Save the space whales. I'm a Libra. Will you buy me a spaceship?"
Wow. Insta-kills?
Yes, that particular enemy insta-kills you. So be careful. However, they can be killed by using your whip attack. So as long as you keep your distance and use your whip attack, you should be fine. In fact, I'm about to demonstrate it, I think. There you go.
Huh.
Alright, come on, good. There we go. Alright, so time to go to Buttville, defeat the queen, and save Princess What's-Her-Name.
What could possibly go wrong?
How about everything?
I don't know, everything about this is pretty wrong to me.
Which part, Shiroi? The
both.
Pulsating, the Bloated, the Festering, the Sweaty, the Pus-Filled, the Malformed? Which one?
How about this
All of
one?
the above?
Yes, it's one of those kind of tests. It's this answer, this one, or all the above.
Groovy. Alright, let's continue.
Oh, yeah.
It's interesting.
Okay, boss must be near. Or
yes.
maybe not.
Well, no, it is near, actually. I just have to get down. Just one more platforming section and we'll start fighting the boss.
There we go.
And we have
It's
lightning in the
interesting how
background
they
because climax.
And
Yeah,
it
it's
showcased the
interesting how
power
they
of
made
Sega.
this level as dark as it is, yet made sure to have good color correlation and color differentiation so that players don't get lost.
Yeah, that's kind of one of the big reasons what I was saying in the previous part, that I kind of prefer the way the Super Nintendo version of For Pete's Sake looks like, with the nighttime background instead of the orange background, because basically I'm taking advantage of my invincibility cheat so I can cheat my way through. Anyway, yeah, I kind of prefer it with the black background, and you guys see for yourself in the extras part after this. It has a better color contrast, makes it easier to see, if you ask me. There we go.
What
There we
helps
go.
is that the platforms themselves are definitely colored
sheep.
well. That's probably the most important thing you could
There you go.
color
Now we're
with.
fighting the queen's butt.
Wait, what?
Jesus.
Her butt?
Remember, Jova, her name is Queen Pulsating, Bloated, Festering, Sweaty, Pus-Filled, Malformed, Slug-for-a-Butt. So obviously she has a Slug-for-a-Butt.
Okay. So we
So
beat
we're
her
not
butt.
fighting her, we're fighting her slug butt.
No. Now first we fight her butt, then we fight her. You see,
Wait,
Shiroi?
is
You see,
that-
Shiroi? A boss has multiple phases. Don't you know?
Wait, is that her up above?
Yes, it is, Jova.
Yeah.
She's that big.
We ju-
Here, let me
Wow.
let me show you. Let me show you the actual proper artwork of her. Let me get it.
From the TV show or from the concept art?
Same thing, Shiroi. The designs are the same. The only real change they made in the cartoon was make Pete yellow instead of pink. I don't get that either, but whatever. It's just a color.
That's the thing. In some of the, if I recall, in the level splash image, it was even white. So we even changed it, even that.
I was gonna say maybe they thought, essentially a hairless dog might
Oh,
scare
there she
children,
is.
but then again, courage exists.
There you
so-
go. There you go, Jova. Just picture that, but huge.
Jesus.
Wait.
As you can see, she lives up to her name.
So, huh?
Basically, the way to beat her is make sure you keep changing your aim so you're always pointing at her. As long as
That
you
sound
keep...
effect is piercing.
Yeah,
It is.
It's like the strategy of that magazine for the original Doom. To kill the cyber demon, shoot it until it dies.
Well, considering this is a run and gun, I guess. Makes sense. You were saying, Jova, sorry?
Wow, she really did get the bad end of the gene pool.
Yep.
Exactly, as the manual said.
I mean, let's see. Her upper body is completely black and looks like that of several different insects
Jesus,
all
so-
compiled together.
Such a spawn.
Yeah, she's kind of a sponge, yeah. Fortunately,
And
don't
only
worry.
like
Even if you run out of ammo, you can go back to the previous platform and there will be health pickups. And even then, you can still hit her with your whip attack. So, there you go.
There we
Oh,
go.
thank God for that.
Oh.
Oh God.
Yeah, she'll be back probably.
Groovy. Alright, and now our glorious ending.
Alright.
Alright.
Yeah, let's
Is
see
it
this
gonna be what I
princess
think
that
it
we've
is?
been fighting tooth and nail for.
Let's see. I'm the
You're
best.
the best.
Haha.
What a worm. Playing on
What?
practice, eh? Well, you'd better step up the difficulty setting if you want to see the real ending. In the meantime,
Of course.
What a worm.
Hold on, listen here.
Oh.
Listen, hold on to it, listen.
Often tube-like bodies and that lack backbones are commonly called
Dr. Naple just called David Perry a worm.
tribes, like
Shut up, you'll have to learn something,
tribe
Shuri.
of this
Yes.
worm and the tribe of that worm. In everyday language,
I love how the screen is going way too fast when the
That's the part of the joke, Theo, as you're about to hear.
cats, ferrets, and blind cave salads.
By the way, this is Doug Tonaple, the creator, narrating.
Chainsaw, blah blah blah. This is going so fast. Look just like elephants, with 2 ears and a long tail. Most of them have complex hair patterns across their back.
Get off the stage.
But don't you see, Tio? He just insulted the player for not being able
And
to
now he's
get through on the high
improvising because the same
difficulty.
is going too fast.
And well-developed digestive, respiratory, circulatory, nervous system, brain, and teleportation module. Some worms reproduce sexually. Hermaphroditism, the condition in
Yes.
which a single individual possesses both male and female reproductive parts. In common in many groups of worms and rock stars. Segmented worms.
What?
Don't pay attention to that, Shiro.
I don't know. I guess you can never be too careful now.
And are brightly colored. Some are free swimming and some are active burrowers. The class.
Why do I get the feeling this isn't scripted?
It is scripted, Shirai, but Doug goes way off script plenty of times, as you're about to see.
Yeah.
Burrowing scavengers. The segmented worms consist of about 9,000 species of free-living and parasitic forms that show certain evolutionary advancements over other. Oh, sure, evolutionary. Now we're all pro-evolution.
You fucking atheists.
Whichever one might get us in any kind of trouble. The segmented worms also possess a well-developed nervous system with concentrations of nerve cells called ganglia. And if you meet a
Come on, Doug, don't give up. You can do it.
social behavior. All living things
Oh my god, is there really this much trivia about worms?
Yes.
So I guess this is your
Is that
punishment.
the rest of this part?
Yes, this is your punishment for taking the easy mode. You have to sit down and learn some worm trivia.
I like this though.
Well, sure. Look at the plus side. Now you know that apparently all rock stars suffer from hermaphroditism.
Hermaphroditism.
I mean, I'm sure you didn't know that before.
I'm pretty sure rock stars just suffer from alcoholism.
Oh, you never
Man,
know.
my biology classes should have showed this particular ending screen
Oh,
instead of
speaking
just
of
telling me.
alcohol, hormonal level.
The reminder that Sega approved it.
I'll actually, Theo, this particular bad ending is exclusive to the special edition on Sega CD and Windows. It's not on the Super Nintendo version.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Sega approved this.
Oh, okay, never mind. I thought you said. And now he's reading the actual credits. Oh, David Perry, you mean the guy who just called a worm at the beginning of this? And then the lead artist Steve Crow, obviously Cy Crow is named after him.
Mm-hmm.
And look at that, Theo, ink and paint. Aren't those names?
Eric Ciccone,
Yeah.
Mike Pilati, probably New Yorkers.
Oh, okay. Then.
I'm guessing that this probably was only
Or
really
Boston, maybe. Those are the two big Italian companies.
Now, okay, this ending.
Oh, and
is
you'll
probably-
notice that one of the developers was Andy Astor, so obviously Andy Asteroids is named after him.
Yes, Joe.
Go ahead, Joe.
Obviously, this was probably only possible on the Sega CD at the time. Since
Yes.
you know,
Pick
you never
safer.
really, since you can never really get voice recordings of this on, this much. to
Yeah.
this quality.
Yeah, you got it, Jova. You got it absolutely right. As for what you were asking, Theo, the dog get off the stage. Anyway,
Don't pull the crane.
anyway, basically the end. Really. Anyway, basically, Theo, Dr. Naple, as you can probably guess by this game, is a huge fan of Tex Avery, and it's going to become even more apparent when we actually see the real ending. Bye!
That was a joy. And I'm somewhat tempted to go back through and read that wall of text. I'm very curious.
Wait, I did miss something. Could you start it again?
Yes, I missed most of that. Could you repeat?
Alright, fortunately, I don't have to do the whole game again in hard mode, because there's actually 3 endings. The normal, the easy ending, the normal ending, and the hard ending. The normal ending is just exactly the same as the hard ending. The only difference is that the hard ending has an extra bit of narration on part of Doug.
Cool.
So we're gonna jump straight to the hard mode. I just picked on the hard mode. And here's a cool thing I can do. There's various cheat codes you can do in Earthworm Jim where you can pause the game and do a sequence of buttons. And one of the cheats you can do is jump straight to the ending. So basically, if you want to see the hard ending but aren't good at the game, just start the game in hard mode and do this code that I'm about to do. And there you go. You can see the hard ending. Cheat codes for the win. Alright, so one more narration on part of Doug.
Alright.
You're the best. Boy, you
Before the level? Interesting.
Hell yeah, before the ending actually.
mastered it. I mean, on difficult.
So you only get this narration when you beat the game on hard.
Do that.
Wait, so the cheat takes you past the final boss and straight to the end?
Yeah,
Wow.
straight to the ending, yeah.
Assured that you
Wow.
are the best. I mean,
Aw.
I'm not the only one who's even done this.
Any minute now.
Heard this right now. Heard this. Me. Talk
Hell yeah! I'm the best, guys. Don't you know?
You care
Totally.
about you. I mean, if you ever feel bad about yourself, think about this day and what you're hearing right now. You are the best. And if you fail at anything, if you come in last at the track meet, you just sit there and raise your head up and say, Shiny said.
This reminds me of that helicopter PS1 game where it insults you even if you perform good
You
thing.
wake up someday and you're in prison, serving a life sentence. You just look up and
Wow.
How did this make it to Nintendo again?
It didn't, Shiwei. Remember, this ending is exclusive to the Sega CD and Windows.
yeah.
Remember, Shrey, this wouldn't have been possible to do it on the SNES because the SNES didn't have voice. Both the Genesis
Not to
and the
this extent,
SNES
anyway.
did not have voice recording.
Alright, here is the actual real ending.
Princess, what's her name?
Hey, Princess, what's her name?
Oh, she has a heart for a face.
There you go, too.
There you go, yeah, classic.
Someone's
Have
a
you
fan,
just been lingering around this lava this entire time?
apparently.
Yes.
Wait
Fuck
for it.
There you go, this was the purpose of the cow.
Wow.
I knew it.
So the princess is dead.
Well,
And the crown was lost.
and that was Earthworm Jim.
What
Well,
a ride.
Well, the princess was.
Yes, we get it, Mr.
alright,
Cow.
there's actually
Fuck
more...
your princess tropes.
There's actually more to, yeah, that's the whole point of this. There's more to the ending after the credits, so stick around, everybody. But yeah, that was Earthworm Jim. Shiroi, since you're usually quick, why don't you voice your final thoughts while this is going on?
That was a ride and a half.
Yeah.
I really like this. The music, the humor, just this was a lot of fun.
Alright.
I'd say this is. I'm gonna remember this, and I do actually want to go back and read all that text.
Designed by many,
It's
many
important.
shiny meetings.
What about you two? What do you think of the game?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. The difficulty obviously may be something that can take you back, but it's not as frustrating as Battletoads, like saying, and the humor compensates for the things that you do.
I love that. Special thanks to Tex Avery and Shiny spouses.
Yeah.
Oh crap.
Oh no.
Well,
Oh.
she's definitely dead now.
And the cow was dead too.
But hey, the
Oh,
crown's okay. We can pawn that.
Jim.
Oh, there you go, Jova. You and Jim fought the same thing, apparently.
Well, I guess being pretty doesn't save you all the time, I guess.
Alright, continue to.
No, I'm almost done already. I enjoyed it for what it is. So that particular ending. Usually there are games where they beating it in easy mode, they just straight up mock you, say basically fuck you and go back. Like the Hercules PS1 game, we just give you a screen. It's like, yeah, you did good, but now go back and play on hard mode, deep shit. but this one was creative. That's, I guess, the right term. These programmers knew what we were doing, and we knew what we were supposed to do. And I appreciate that.
And they even provide a very, very, very uplifting message when they say you're the best on hard mode.
Yes, and also another important lesson for the day: do not launch cows in the air, and
Yeah.
because that might bite you in the ass someday.
Yep.
You could do that, but just remember to walk in the opposite direction, not in the direction you flung the cow.
To give another idea of how faithful the cartoon is, the cartoon turned this ending into a running gag. Every episode of the cartoon always ends with someone getting hit by a cow. So, all right.
Lovely.
But yeah, I'm done. Next.
Go ahead, Jova. What do you think of the game?
Yeah, it's a pretty good game. It has very well thought out animations, humor levels that are well done. Obviously, some told from the manual, but I digress. Overall, it's got very good production values and is a fun ride through and through.
All right. What do you think of the music?
Definitely enjoy it.
Yeah.
Especially.
I'm guessing
That was level 5's ones, isn't it?
Yeah, Submerged. The actual name of the track on the soundtrack is Submerged because it actually plays first in the tube level rather than the level 5. But yeah, sure. All right, you done?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I remember back in the day when this game came out in 1994 on the Mega Drive, and I actually got it. Because first of all, the cover looked cool as hell. Because Jim looked pissed off in the cover, and of course, being a big fan of 90s surreal type cartoons, this was totally up my alley. Even to this day, I still think the game aged remarkably well for a 1994 game. It's still a lot of fun to play. The humor is timeless and it's still as funny today as it was 20 years ago. And it's just overall an incredibly charming and fun game that is capable of entertaining both kids and adults. And those people who enjoy a really hard run and gun platformer. Think of it like this. Think of this game as the Cuphead of the time of sorts. Because, not only this game...
To be fair, like, almost every other platformer was like the Cuphead of its time.
True, but this one is probably the most similar because of the brilliant hand-drawn animation and the run-and-gun aspect of it. It's true. While it is true that this game is not full of boss battles like Cuphead, it's probably the most direct comparison I can make to a modern game nowadays. Mm-hmm. Although Cuphead was more of an homage to 1930s cartoons rather than Tex Avery, which was more known for 1940s cartoons.
It's still the closest thing you have, though.
Yeah, true. But anyway, it's a lot of fun, and like I said, when it comes to playing this particular game, the first one, make sure you play nowadays, here's what you should do. Don't even bother with the special edition released on both Windows 95 and Sega CD. Unless you don't bother with the Windows 95 version because even though it has slightly enhanced graphics, it's hard to run on modern systems, and it does have some butchered music here and there, which is criminal to me as a fan of Tommy Tallarico. So basically, if you want to play this game today, emulate the Sega CD version. Like even Teo's Toaster could emulate the Sega CD version anyway, because emulating Sega CD nowadays with Kega Fusion is incredibly easy on any computer. So have fun. But we're not done here, because this game was incredibly successful back in the day. So obviously it spawned a sequel, so stay tuned for the sequel, everybody, because the sequel is twice as funny, twice as creative, and let's just say the ending is, let's just say if you like the ending of this game, you ain't seen nothing yet. So tune in for Earthworm Jim 2.
See ya.
See ya.
See ya.